And certainly on Saturday, right here at this lovely Park Hill playing field. And Rohit this time will come into bowl to Dylan Douglas. And Douglas was looking to bang that one square of the wickets. Played under, rather than on top of it. And it was into the gloves of the wicketkeeper. Total remains at 106 for the loss of 4. This time gets the bat onto it and field on that deep mid-wicket boundaries. Acts to come in. One more run added in the process. And the total is now up to 108. 108 for the loss of 4. Descartes works into that short mid-wicket position and good work there from Rohit fielding to his own bowling. And couldn't get the single nonetheless. But created a bit of an anxious moment there for the two in the middle for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. Total is on to 109 for the loss of 4 in win over number 12 and worked into the offside and striking the umpire there on that right heel of his. He's limping a bit. The process, one more added to the score for the Windward Island Volcanoes. The end of a fairly decent over there from Rohit, and it's 110 now for the loss of 4 wickets. 110 for the loss of end of the over. So at the end of the 15th over, the Windward Island Volcanoes batting first here at the Parkhill playing field in this practice game for the Nepal team as they prepare for Cricket World Cup 2024. They are 130 for the loss of 4, 130 for the loss of 4 after 15. A scoring rate of 8.7 runs per over. Sampal Kami this time from the Sutherland to ball to Descartes. Descartes hugs this one. He's going to be out caught. Yes. So there's Descartes hoiking that one, and a simple catch there to Karan. Windward Island Volcanoes losing their 5th wicket. It's now 130 for the loss of 5, and certainly Descartes must be a bit disappointed. That shot. Maybe was looking for that gap between the deep cover and the long off position. But found the cover fielder coming in, and Windward Island Volcanoes in the process losing their 5th wickets. So being pushed back a bit. The Volcanoes as new batsman comes to the crease. Darren Ned, the new batter, takes his guard and Sampal Kami picking up a wicket. It is the 16th over. Now coming to bowl to Ned, and aborted his run as there were still some instructions being given, and we'll now bowl, and Ned edge this one straight into the glove of the wicketkeeper. Wicket number 6, well taken there by Mohammed Asif, and Darren Ned getting the golden duck here at Parkhill, and the Volcanoes are now 130 for 6, and let's hope that it doesn't all fall away for the Volcanoes. But he was forced back, and that was left hanging outside the off stump. Took the outside edge, and wicketkeeper Mohammed Asif Sheikh made absolutely no mistake, ensuring that that one was neatly pounced in that glove of his, and 130 now for the loss of 6. So Kami now on a hat trick. So new batsman coming to the crease. There's Larry Edwards, and no helmets. As Sami. That's Kami, sorry. Sampal. I believe I actually had bowling courtesy. Captain Rohit comes in and bowls to Larry Edwards, and Edwards avoids the hat-trick. And very enthusiastic Rohit picked up that area and tossed it back quickly there to wicketkeeper Mohammed Asif. Rohit Kumar Podel, the Nepal captain, comes in the post to Larry Edwards, and Edwards is in defense this time, working it back up on the offside, and picked up there by Rohit to total remains at 130 for the loss of 6. Edwards can only find that fielder coming in. And breaks are certainly on by Team Nepal. As Rohit now passes Empire, moves to Larry Edward, and Edward just can only find that short mid-wicket position. That's the end of a very good over from the captain. An over in which he picked up 2 wickets and keeping the Windward Islands in this after 16 overs, I beg your pardon, at 130 for the loss of 6. And Nepal certainly avoiding a late onslaught from the Windward Islands volcanoes as we welcome back the sunshine here to the Park Hill playing field. Had a bit of a cloud cover for most of the morning. It's almost blue skies here. Just 1 or 2 clouds hanging here and there. As now we see both players. Back to the helmet. Douglas is gonna face this delivery and bowls at 6 runs. 6 runs there to Dylan Douglas. Total advance is now to 136 with a loss of 6. So Sumbal Kami ball to Dylan Douglas, and Douglas is getting a one right up in the block hole and just drops it short, and they'll come back for the second very quickly. Throw comes in and it's run out. Let's see the signal. And umpire Butler doesn't seem too interested. Ramoda thought he was gone, but a good throw coming in there from Karan, racing off the boundary and trying to first and foremost avoid the second and picking up the wicket. It didn't happen. 2 more added to the total, now 138 for the loss of 6. So Douglas is now up to 23 as bowler comes in now. Distillery finds a player coming off of that deep square leg position, and it's 1 more to the total. 139 now for the loss of 6. Douglas is on to 24, and the new batter in Larry Edwards taking guard. As you might have picked it up in our microphone, some chattering and instructions going around from a Nepalese dealer. No, Captain Rohit asking that short fine leg to go right back on the fence. And there's going to come also onto the deep backward square leg boundary in Karan. So just some changes taking place as Sampal comes in out. The ball to Larry Edward, and Edwards is forced back, punches into the onside, and one more added in the process. It's 140 now for the loss of 6. Forced to break his run there. He's going to go back to the top of his mark. And now coming to bowl to Douglas. Delivery that is high, straight back over the bowler's head. And that's 6 more. Almost striking all of the spectators under the coconut trees there at the northern end. Close to that scoreboard. It's 150. Make that 146, I should say, for the loss of 6. But good shot there from Douglas. And he advances to 30. Sampal. Delivery, and it's pulled. And it's going to get it way close to the fence. And just pulled back there by Karan. 2 runs added in the process. It's now on to 148 for the loss of 6. So, good comeback over there for the Windward Island Volcanoes. And with 3 more to go at 148 for 6, they might very well still be fancying a total of 175. Put some challenge here for this Nepal team. Captain Rohit picked up 2 wickets in his previous over, and would certainly like for such to happen, or even better things. This over from the southern end here at the Barkhill playing field. So Larry Edward, he's on 8, and Rohit. This one is he bowled? It will appear that such is the case, yes. Had a swing at it and clipped that bail there, and Edward bowled behind his back. And Rohit, just like he started his previous over, getting the wickets on his very first ball. The Volcanoes are 148 for the loss of 7. As Asif Hooper will now come to the wickets. The bearded Asif Hooper. And pretty much a player who knows the conditions here at Parkhill, Asif Hooper. Is from the northern end of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The North Windward constituency, as we call it. And a player who can certainly muscle his way around. He's shown his exploits in the local VPL here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but also done it in 1 or 2 other Windward Islands. And was a T10 tournament in Tobago that Asif Hooper also excelled. So brings a lot to the table here. I would really like to ensure that the Volcanoes post as much as possible on the board. As Rohit comes in out the ball to Asif Hooper. Hooper works this one off his legs, and the fielder couldn't prevent that single. It's on to 149 now for the loss of 7. Asif Hooper immediately off the mark. Douglas is still very much there. He's on 32. Gavin Hodge contributed 38. This one hits straight, and it's into another banana patch here at Park Hill. Big lustily blow there from Dylan Douglas. The 150 is up on the board for the Windward Islands. They're now 155 for the loss of 7 wickets. So, despite the fact that there's that continued loss of wickets, you see Douglas still trying to motor along. And apparently it appears as if that ball might not be retrieved. There's a fair amount of shrub at that end of the ground. It might be difficult to retrieve that ball at this point in time. Meantime, the reserve umpire brought out the box with balls. Still trying to retrieve. There's someone in the bushes ahead of us. Not yet on your screen, but efforts being made to retrieve that ball. And has seen 17 plus overs. So it's 155 for the loss of 7. And following their stay here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Nepal, they'll go on to Texas, where they'll be playing a Houston 11 as they continue training, practicing for Cricket World Cup 2024 being hosted in the West Indies and the USA. Of course, St. Vincent and the Grenadines are preparing to host some 5 matches, and work is certainly moved along at the Islands playing field, where, as I speak to you, there is installation of light towers, extensive work done on the outfield, on the pitch itself. There's been some rehabilitation work to the pavilions, and certainly Islandsville, which is a lovely cricket ground. It's a gem globally. Certainly will be in all its glory as St. Vincent and the Grenadines hosts 5 T20 World Cup games for 2024. And doesn't appear as if that ball has been retrieved, so there's been a change in ball in the 17th over as Douglas will now settle now as Rohit comes in. And outside the off stump, stayed along the turf for white signal there by the umpire, and they went through for a second. So 2 more added to the total. They should move on to 157 now for the loss of 7. 157 for 7. And Asif Fupa will now take strike. So the bearded Asif Fupa settles over his bats. Here to see one of those, swapping of positions. As Captain Rohit now comes in out to bowl to Asif Fupa, who was post back, but in the process was off for a very quick single. Just dropped it in front of him and immediately ran. And 1 more added. It's 158 for the loss of 7. 158 for 7. There's Rohit. Douglas gets one wide outside the off stump. No need to play. Signal a wide by the umpire. Rohit. And this one is high, hard, over the fence, and the 6 it is. Again, very close to that area, and for a moment, the fielder there on that long off position appeared as if he would have caught something, but was just toying with the spectators here at Park Hill, because that was gone for another 6 off the bat of Dylan Douglas. And taking the total now up to 165 for the loss of 7. Douglas is on to 44, I believe. Yes, he's on to 44. And, well, they're still trying to retrieve that ball. So that's 2 balls off the bat of Dylan Douglas yet to be returned. And should be seeing the reserve umpire coming in soon with a replacement. So we're yet to. Well, the ball is actually now being returned. Now the question is, was that the first ball that was lost, or was it the replacement ball? I'm not in a position to say. But the umpire will now have a look at it. And well, both balls are now back. So it's a question as to which ball will be used. And I believe they will resort to the original ball. That will appear to be the case. And Captain Rohit continue the battle here for Nepal. 165 for 7 in this over number 18. As Dylan Douglas will prepare to take strike once again. Outside the off stump and another wide off the bowling of the Nepalese captain. Second wide of the over. Maybe being rattled a bit. Douglas hits this one high, hard, and the fielder's trying to get under it. Can't. And that's 6 more. So Rohit coming in for a bit of a rough treatment here as signals with his bat. 50 on the board there for Dylan Douglas. And 172 now for the loss of 7. With 2 overs after this one, there's still the possibility of a 200+ score here by the Windward Islands Volcano, despite the fact that it appeared as if they would have lost their way in the middle. But it's Dylan Douglas, who's in a no-nonsense mood, and Asif Cooper, who we know can power it. The possibility is still very much there, as now we see both batsmen getting their helmets. It's going to be Asif Hooper to face up Sompal, coming from the northern end. And then the 19th over. Sompal Kami, it is. Asif Hooper taking guard. And these 2 overs left. We certainly might very well see further explosions from this Windward Island Volcanoes team as Sompal Kami breaks into his stride now on the bathed in sunshine here at the Parkville playing field. Comes in on balls to Asif Hooper. This one off the bat into the pad. Very importantly, they offer that very quick single. And 1 more to the total is 173 for the loss of 7. 173 for 7. Cricket in action here. It's in Vincent and again it is a rural ground. A ground that was put in place some 10+ years ago. It's really a beauty. It's nestled between the mountains in the back of the Atlantic Ocean. This one is a wild swing there from Douglas. And getting the bat onto the ball. Might have very well hurt himself in the process. Let's hope such is not the case. And I will go up and prods at the pitch as if to say, well, that was probably the pitch. But we in this commentary position know that's certainly not the case, as Sompal races in. And this one is up in the air. Ball is trying to get the catch. He's under it and takes it. Lovely work there from Sompal. And Dylan Douglas losing his wicket in the process. Trying to certainly get as much on the board here for the Windward Island Volcanoes. Gone for 50. And it's now 150 for the, make that 173 for the loss of 8. Very important wicket of Dylan Douglas going down there for the Windward Island Volcanoes. So there you see Douglas making his way back in, and Sherman Lewis, the young Grenadian batter, more known for his exploits as a bowler. Sherman Lewis will join Asif Hooper at the wicket. And Sompal is back at the top of his mark. He's ready to continue. Lewis just taking his guard in the process. So Douglas really looking to get the charge on and then get onto that one in the way in which he would have hoped to, and just guide it, and the bowler taking the catch in the process. 173 for the loss of 8 to Windward Island Volcanoes. So here's Sompal Kami now to come into bowl to Lewis, and Lewis is looking to work one off his passes down the leg side, and that's signal wide there by umpire Butler. So one extra to the total. 174 now for the loss of 8. So Sherman Lewis. This one is looking to punch somewhere down to that long arm position, and ricochet off his pads, found it into that fine leg position there, looking for a third, which is not there, and total will go on down to 176 for the loss of 8. It is the 19th over. One more to come after this, and no doubt these two at the wicket will like to get as close as possible to that 200-run mark. 190 might still very well be a decent total here at the Park Hill playing field, as Sompal will coming out to bowl to Lewis, and Lewis is fanning with one outside the off stump. Got no bat on the ball, and that's a dot delivery, very important for the Nepal team. Total remains at 176 for the loss of 8. Sompal, as Lewis awaits this one and getting bat onto the ball. It's gonna go over the fence there for 6 more, and that's what the Windward Island Volcanoes need at this point in time. They're up to 182 now for the loss of 8, and that's the end of a spell there from Sompal, picking up a couple of wickets here today at the Park Hill playing field, and in the process, of course, getting what we call in local parlance some stick in the process. So 182 for 8, with one more to come. It'll be interesting to see who's going to bowl this last over. Captain Rohit came in for some rough treatment, and will decide I'm not going to bowl this final over. Looks as if it's going to be Irie to bowl the final over. Interesting, Irie, as Asif Hooper has gotten rid of the helmet, and at 182 for 8, we really want to get as close as possible to 200. Hooper drives down to long on. They take 1, and that's all it's going to be. 183 for 8 with 5 more deliveries remaining. So here's Irie. This time to Sherman Lewis, and Lewis is looking to work this one somewhere into that mid-wicket position. He got an outside edge, and it rolled all along the turf into the fence. And that's 4 very important runs there for the Windward Islands Volcanoes. So 4 off the bat of Lewis, not where he would have intended to, but nonetheless, runs are runs. And the total advance is now to 187 for the loss of 8. Lewis just having a look around and knocks his pads in the process as Irie will come into bowl. And this one again, well, there was no baton to ball, and it finds its way into the fence. 4 byes. So all important for the Volcanoes. 191 now for the loss of 8. And I believe we have some 3 more deliveries to come. Lewis with the bats. Certainly has not been commanding, but he's done enough to add 8 runs in the last 2 deliveries for the Windward Islands. As Irie now comes in. And this one is safe into the gloves of Wahib Asif. And total remains at 191 for 8. Lewis. To this delivery, drives. And it's going to get pretty close to the fences. 4 well taken runs. A wonderful off drive there from Sherman Lewis. 195 for the loss of 8. But it surely was a shot of a batsman of class. As he just leaned back and just drove that one into that cover boundary. And 195 as Irie with the final delivery. And batsman in the process taking the single. So 196 for 8. That's the end of the Windward Islands Volcanoes. Just 4 runs short of the 200 mark. And they would have certainly had that big partnership between August and Kavem Hodge. Would have lost